Sure, you saw the announcement about Paul's battle that he's facing, and we know that Paul's been through this before, and he battled like a real warrior last time and made it through it. And the signals are, that there be a real positive outcome. But we're all pulling for him too, and are grateful for all that he stands for in this community and for all of us. So we'll join together and help him battle along with this. This process he's going through that he knows very well. So we're thinking only good thoughts. We really took a lot out of this game, going on the road and getting a win. Tough battle throughout, a game that really we tried to control by running the football and doing the things we did on offense to see if we could get a good solid football game played, and we came out and did it again. In a lot of areas we came through in the same fashion we did a week ago, which I really like that, the consistency of playing good defense and playing tough against a team that wanted to run the football. We particularly played well in the second half, only allowing 12 yards rushing in the second half, which was really nice. The offense did what we needed them to do. Unfortunately, we didn't play well on third down, but the rest of it was physical and tough and aggressive, and we liked the style of play. Special teams played a really solid game, played smart and avoided the penalties, and gave field position a couple times inside the 50 for the offense, which was really good. So it was a good general hard-fought ball game, and I think you could tell by the way our guys celebrated at the end that they really took great joy in getting that win in dramatic fashion. The chance to do it in a 2-minute drive, set it up, put the field goal kicker out there and kick a game winner was really exciting. So that was good stuff. I think it's really worth noting that the offensive line continues to improve. You look at the first couple of weeks when we had all the sacks, and last couple of weeks we just haven't. We've been way better pass protection wise, and also the running game has really come to life. Running the ball over 30 times last couple of games is really a message of that we're trying to project. This is how we want to play this football game and these football games, and so that was good stuff. And Justin Britt played really good coming back, and he played well with DJ and with Swedes on either side of him, and so that just looked good and looked strong. The running game was really highlighted by Michael Davis's play. Mike just played a terrific football game and was active and creative and tough and aggressive and did a beautiful job. And Rashad Penny played well too in his 9 carries. He did a nice job and got some space and ran hard, and you can see him coming along. So that's a real good statement for the running back room for us, and to know that Chris played well last week and these guys come back and hit it pretty good and get another 100-yard rusher. That's good stuff. Russell's blocking has really improved, and we appreciate the fact that he's getting downfield and leading us up the sidelines. He had one particularly good block and a couple other good attempts, and so that's pretty good. 1 out of 3 is pretty good for him. He's not going to like that. So all in all, it was a good solid win, and it was nice to finish the game well and play well at the end and get the win.
4 games in now, you're at that first quarter mark of the season. Just how do you kind of feel like where this team is at now?
Well, it really is. It's clear cut, 4 games, so it's the first quarter end, like you're saying, and we have made market improvement, and we're finding ourselves, we're finding our way to play the game. Offense and defense fitting together very well. The kicking game continues to be solid, so we have a chance to continue to improve. I think we're just getting rolling, so there's a lot more to come on the offensive side of the ball in terms of how we mix and how we do the things we want to do. We really needed to focus and establish that we could run the football and find our offensive line really kind of their nature, and I think we've really tapped into that. So that's really important, and it's a long season. There's so many things that are going to happen during the course of the year. The start isn't really the telltale of what these seasons are all about. But the fact that we've made progress and we have found something that we really like and the way we want to go is huge.
Expect Chris to be back?
Yes. Yeah, we expect a few guys to return. Posek should come back. CJ will be back in there. It's nice to get some of these guys back on the field. Deion Jordan will be back also.
What was it about Chris down that made you want to go with Mike over Rashad as the lead guy yesterday for the both years?
We didn't have anything to do with Chris. It just Chris wasn't able to go, so it was just a thought about and talked it over with Shadi about who we thought would be handle it the best and would be the most comfortable. And Mike's played more, and he's been around and started games and all that. So we just thought we'd go that way and keep Rashad in kind of the role that we had projected going into the game, where he would come in off the bench and fill in and do some stuff, and we would see how the game would go. So that was just a thought early. He's still going to be a bit. He's getting back up on and going, but he's going to be a bit. It'd probably be difficult for him to make it this week.
Can you just exactly what did happen to Earl? I mean, what the prognosis is and what his long-term outlook is?
Yeah, he fractured the tibia in really almost the same area where he did it before, and he was trying to jump over the receiver on the ground, and he just kind of kicked him, and it hit right in the same spot, and he knew exactly what happened. He felt, just the same and all that. So.
Have you and Earl had any conversations after the fact, after the
injury? we were together in and around the locker room and just a bit on the plane, so we've connected.
Earl would be done for the year. He wouldn't be able to return from that injury this year.
Yeah, last time it took him 2 or 3 months or something to get that done, so it's that kind of a situation, I think.
Is this a surgery situation?
Don't know that yet. He hasn't decided how he's going to handle it. There is a choice on this break. Tyler had the same break, and he did have surgery a couple years ago, and Earl chose not to.
The last time he chose not to, did it come with the risk that it would be more susceptible to potentially breaking?
No, I don't know that. I don't know about that. I don't know how they conferred on that. I'm not sure.
Will Disley, what exactly is his
Yeah, Will's going to have surgery this week. He injured his patellar tendon, and it's similar to what Jimmy did a while back. I don't know how similar, but it is the same kind of injury.
But Jimmy obviously took a while, but for next season though,
Yeah, he'll miss the season.
You mentioned Justin's play. How did he kind of come out of that game, and what did you like out of what you saw?
He played really physically. He had some nice downfield hits. He played really hard, played freed up. His shoulder didn't bother him at all. He was fine about it. Just the whole group played really, really physical, and he was right in the middle of it. He had some really nice plays in the game.
I'm sure there's always a way for you guys to kind of have the noise from that narrative perspective from the outside about the Earl situation and the way he came off the field and the signal he presented to the bench. How have you handled that with the group? Just kind of not talked about it, or have you guys addressed it with the team, or?
No, I didn't think it was. I don't know exactly what the intention of that was, or what. I didn't see it, and I don't know what the intention was there. And I'm not jumping to conclusions on that, and there's nothing for us to talk about at this point.
You mentioned special teams earlier. Mingo's played a ton of snaps on special teams and made some plays. What are you seeing out of him in that area?
And he has really been a factor. He's been and he's a factor with his effort. He was always, all the way back to his college days, a great effort guy. When we saw him in the offseason, honestly, I'll tell you that I was kind of surprised that he didn't show up more, just chasing the ball and doing things in practice and all. And I was concerned about it, and we mentioned it to him, because we had thought we had got a guy that was going to just fly and rip and play. He talked about never getting tired in games and stuff like that, and that's why he was able to play so hard. And as soon as the game started, it showed up. And he has been really one of the guys that Brian Snyder talks about the most, because he gives such consistent effort and he works so hard at doing things right. He's really controlling his position now, the Sam Backer spot for us. He's really gained a lot of ground on it. He's sharp, he's on it, he's been effective on the perimeter. You've seen him make plays in the backfield on some difficult situations. But to really appreciate him, you just got to watch him. He runs like crazy. He can run forever. And he never does get tired. He just plays like crazy. He's playing on all 4 special teams units throughout. Hasn't missed a play yet, I don't believe. And also is contributing in the nickel rush packages too some. So he's doing a great job. He's having a terrific season.
Does defense jump back in Left or how does that work?
No, we'll see how that works. We got to get him back in. The guys that are coming back all have to get Wednesday's practice in and then come back on Thursday and Friday and show us that they can do that. So we're not projecting any changes at all there.
At safety, do you just kind of roll with Tedrick now, or is there some?
Tedrick steps up. Yep. Just as we had gone earlier, we're excited about Tedric's play, and he's been playing quite a bit in the dime group that we've been playing. So he's been on the field a lot. So it was nothing new for him to get out there, and he's been a big contributor in special teams as well. And he's just played solidly. He hasn't had many really attempts at making plays on the ball yet, but he's been very solid. So we expect him to play really well.
Pro Football Weekly, or Pro Football Focus has graded Earl as the top defender so far in the first 4 weeks of this season.
Yeah, he's played great.
How do you grasp the deal with the enormity of his absence? It's not just next man up. You're obviously going to replace him, but he's more.
Yeah, I don't see it like. Maybe I've said this before. I don't know. I don't see it replacing Earl Thomas. I don't see that. I mean, he's a great football player and has demonstrated that for a long period of time, and came out had probably his best. What we both acknowledged his best start of any season he could recall. So it's the next gap. This is not Earl coming back. This is Tedric playing the game. He's going to do the best he can in the way he plays. I remind you that Tedric had the best camp and really late off-season work of anybody. He was the most spectacular player we had, making plays and doing things on the back end. So, I don't know how high expectations were around about how our secondary was going to play, but these guys are playing good football, and I would expect Tedric to jump in there and do the things that he does really well. He's a different player to some extent than Earl. Earl's really one of a kind, but he'll do a good job for us. We intend to see him play really well.
Delano and Shalom Luani, and how ready are those guys if they sort of have?
They're working hard. Now Delano has missed a little bit of time. He got back this week and played some, but he's really been on an upswing, and been improving throughout. So Luani has been with us enough now that he can play both spots and fill in. So those guys have to step up.
Doug Baldwin was back. What did you see out of him?
Played a good, solid football game. Yeah, good ball game. He felt great about it, came out of the game great, and we're very fortunate for that. We'll take care of him again this week as he builds some background to being back in the fold, but we're expecting to play a ton this week.
Seems like Russell was really looking for him. How important is it to have Doug Baldwin back?
It's hugely important. I mean, they've been playing together for so long, and they have chemistry, and they've got the great background and ability to adjust. You saw it, he found Doug right off the bat on a scramble, and Doug found a big space to get open to, and that this will only get better. This is just Doug's first week back with us. It's been a long time that he's had a chance to really dig in, and he only had a couple days this week, so it's exciting for us. We really feel like we have a chance, even though I know we had a couple losses, but we have 4 guys coming back in and Doug improving, and we've solidified the depth at the running back spot. You can see it, and so we have some real positive things to look forward to.
When you look at the third downs, I think 5 of those third down opportunities came up a yard short of converting. Yeah. Is there anything?
Yeah, there was a couple things. There were a couple things that we could have done, to convert. And the really subtle things, about the throw or the route, the break of the route rather than pulling up on a route and stuff like that. There's little subtle things that we could have done better, and unfortunately, it just stacked up to be a terrible night on third down. So. I think we're 4 for 6 throwing the football, in situations where we could have converted and all that. So we just need to turn that around. It's a remarkable game in the sense to see that we had time of possession on the clock again this week, and we didn't convert on third down. There's so many more plays and opportunities out there that we missed out on. So we take a lot of positives out of the fact that we overcame that.
Game without converting a third down?
I don't remember. Matter of fact, somebody said that the last time was 2010, and I don't know if this is right, because I thought I heard that it's only happened like 10 or 11 times in the history of the league or something. So it's nice to set a record. That's not kind of the record we're looking for, but.
What's up with Brandon Marshall?
No, it just mishandled the ball. He had a shot at one on over route. That's all. You notice that we played David Moore. We paid David in an extended fashion, and he did a nice job. He averaged almost 20 yards a catch. So we'll continue to mix those guys.
Janikowski obviously made the one that really mattered, but was there any? But he's missed a few. Is there anything he's doing? Or
he had there was a mechanical thing that he misfired on. He thought, and on the first one he missed, and came back and banged it. Banged a couple. So. It's unfortunate because it put us in a tough situation, but both of the kickers had problems yesterday. I don't know why, but he feels and Brian feels that there's just stuff we're working on that we got to get cleaner on. A little bit of where we aligned in the snap. There's some little mechanical things we can help, and so we're going to count on him to keep hitting the big ones.
Excuse me, your shot in the kick returner role. Just what did you think of him in that?
He hit it pretty hard. It was good. He enjoyed it. He felt like he needs to get his timing, his feel for it again, and he thought that was really beneficial to have the shots this week. And we'll put him back there again this week and see how he does.
What are you able to do at tight end without Will here moving forward? How do you try to
wait and see. Give us a couple days here, and you'll see how it unfolds. We've had a couple guys on the practice squad that have helped us, and so we have some ways to turn right there.
Pete, you mentioned the offensive line has played better the last 2 weeks. What has changed? Is it, you think, the establishment of the run, or getting used to Solari? Or
yeah, I think we've drawn them out, by the way we've gone about it, and we just didn't hit it right the first 2 weeks, and I don't think they've changed much. I think that we've been able to call on them differently and more uniquely in terms of just pounding the line of scrimmage. This was the most physical play that we've had in some time, and this week, and it was an advance from last week, and it's a really fun sign to see these guys getting going, and they're just starting to feel their sense and their awareness of counting on them and all of that, which brings out the best in any offensive line, and these guys really showed that, and you can see Shotty's syncing up with them. I think it's just going to continue to get better, and I love the fact that we've got a variety of guys that can help us run the football, and so Will Dissly we're going to miss him. He was a good football player, and everything we've ever said about Will, he was just getting started. He was a factor in there, and so Nick has to step up and do a nice job, and the adjustments that we make need to follow. But all of that, really, I think it's coming right from. It starts with, I think Dwayne is a real leader up there, and Justin is a real leader, and we got Justin back this week, and I think all of those elements are just coming together, and there's a lot of room for improvement. So they can feel that, and I think they're feeling us count on them quite a bit. It really helps.
How's KJ Wright doing?
KJ's stepping up his workouts. We'll know more later in the week here where he is. But he is running, and so he's on the road back now. So I can't tell you when that's going to happen, though.
Do you know yet if you'll have Michael available again?
I don't know that yet. I don't know. Tomorrow's a big day for that.
Have you got more maybe out of Kendricks than you thought you could have, just off the street in your system?
I think he's really a good ball player. Gosh, he's instinctive and fast and tough and smart and got a good attitude. He's got a good toughness about him that like if something doesn't go right, he's determined to fix it and get it right, and so he's got a real good sense about him. I think so. Yeah, I think he's really good. So we'll miss him if he doesn't get to play with us. But while we have him, we're going to continue to work him.
Has the league given you any indication that you'll get beyond a week-to-week word about him? You said yesterday's a big day. Was there something more definitive?
Well, no, Tuesday. That's kind of when they determine stuff. They don't. Once they get to Wednesdays, they don't do things that affect rosters very much. So it could be tonight or tomorrow, I would think. So we don't know. We have no indications of which way it's going or what they're thinking, and they had a chance to make that decision last week and postponed it. So we'll see what happens.
Trey had the forced fumble, obviously, but he's made a few tackles in run defense. How much does his safety background help him when he's playing?
I think it shows up, John. I think he really shows up. He's physical. He had, if you notice, the first run of the game, he made a tackle, but the game was about 5 yards. They ran the same play next time, and he jams it up right at the line of scrimmage and pulls the football out. It was a fantastic play on a really good ball player. He's active, and I think his general sense and awareness really does show up. Sometimes, a corner sits right in there like it fits just like a safety has to fit. Some guys hit it like a corner, some guys hit it like a safety. I think he shows you that he's got the other dimension to him that's can make him a complete football player. We've always demanded our corners to have to be hitters and tacklers and not just cover guys, and he's really fitting the bill.
On the radio this morning, you have basically like a call for empathy in regards to Earl Thomas and middle fingers. Why did you feel the need to do that?
Yeah, because under the circumstances, to handle what just happened in a flash of a moment, and with all of the knowledge that he knew where he was going, he knows exactly what the injury was. He knew exactly, I'm sure it flashed in his mind, this is going to take this long, and this time, how could this, all of the stuff that's going through his head. You got to give everybody a break. You know, you can have expectations for people to do exactly as you would think they should do, but until you're there doing it and you understand it, yeah, you got to give guys some room. And so that's exactly how I feel about it. I know that probably some of our other players know that, and people who've been in the situation understand. And you know, I get it when people want to pass judgment and try to, you know, cast aspersions and all that about something. But in the heat of the moment, with all the emotional part of this, and the injury and the pain and the you know, all of that, shoot, man, we'll give the guy a break.
You had a chance to reflect on the fact of losing to injury, related injury, Sherman, Chancellor, and Thomas, all in a relatively short period of time, and the enormity of that impact on the team.
Yeah, I don't know where to put that. You know, I am aware of it. Yeah, I don't know where to put that. For the most part, it's on the same field. I don't know what that means. I don't have any idea. And I'm not making any statement about that. I don't feel like there's any need to. But just really, it's kind of uncanny that it's happened like that. These guys have been, they're all such extraordinary performers for us and great competitors and iconic players in our community too. You know, how they've affected it with their play and success and, you know, all the flavor that they have brought over the years. I mean, it's just amazing that they would get grouped again in this, you know, that they've been banged up and hurt and all that kind of stuff. So it's, I don't know what to make of it.
Just comes back, assuming he's back to himself. Where does Mike Davis fit in?
He's going to fit in somewhere. He needs to play, you know. He needs to be a part of it. So we'll work that out.
With the run game, it doesn't seem like it yet. It seems like it's been good. It doesn't seem like that's opened up much downfield play action stuff. What do you attribute that to?
No, I think that's all coming. I think our emphasis has been to really make sure and get this knocked out and not. I didn't feel like we got it done the first 2 weeks, and if anything, we might be gone overboard. I love carrying the ball 30 times gives you a chance to play really good football, and that means you're really committed and it's clear, and you know, we'll build from here.
Can you explain the mechanics of when a guy reports as eligible and what happened with Joey Hunt on the penalty there?
Yeah. They go in the game and they do this to make a gesture that, you know, they're an eligible number reporting to be eligible, and the report is supposed to go directly to the referee. Often the guys come on and they make such a big deal about it that the other officials will remind the referee and all of that, and just kind of got lost in that. And you know, Joey didn't catch the attention of the referee clearly, and so. He was gesturing, you know, like he's supposed to, but he just didn't do it in the right direction, so we got nailed. You know, it gave us a chance to score twice down there, so, and run the football, so that was kind of good.
You joked about Russell's blocking kind of earlier, but what does that kind of do for everybody on the sideline when the quarterback's 20 yards out?
Oh, it's really exciting. We made a big deal about it. We told him it's the best block he's ever thrown. You know, it's good. Set a new standard. You know, but there's a couple other ones we're still kind of, you know, what about the other two blocks, you know? We give them a hard time about it. But if you remember that this has happened before, you know, there's been that same cut that's happened on those same plays back in the day, and he's been out in front before in these situations, and the reads by the running back turned it right back into that same situation. He was available again, and he was out in front, you know, and I noticed the first time Mike hadn't really come to appreciate his blocking ability. So as Russ was out in front of him, he kind of, instead of getting out behind him, he kind of cut up and went inside, you know. But after the next one, when he knocked the guy down, then he went right for him, and he was going to use him, you know, counting on him. So it's good.
The 4th and 1 play right before the half, Arizona just kind of make a good play on that, or what happened on that one?
No, what really happened is they were a little unsettled with what they were doing, and Russ tried to catch them unsettled, and it didn't help us. And they ran right to the right spots, and it screwed them up a little bit. And they were looking around and communicating, and he thought he had him with the tempo, and they responded exactly like he didn't want them to, and they went right into the throwing lane, and so it just messed us up, and it's unfortunate.
You're in a unique spot with being a mentor, steward of these guys, and someone trying to care for them as you do. Would you like to see the new CBA have some kind of guaranteed contracts for more of the league, especially defensive players or non-quarterbacks, so that they don't have this situation you've been dealing with?
I think that's. I would hope that that's in consideration. A lot of other sports understand that, you know, and our sport is the most difficult, you know, to stay healthy and stay part of it. I wish that there was more consideration in their conversations about that, for sure.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.